great pleasure to be here representing Chadwick International School this afternoon. And I must tell you at the beginning that the relationship that I have with Rod and the relationship that I have with our keynote speaker from earlier this afternoon goes all the way back to about 11 o'clock this morning. What I am amazed at is the degree to which there is a resonance, a appreciation that we are speaking the same language, trying to accomplish the same goals at the national level, at the Australian level, and at the international level at Chadwick International. Our keynote speaker was speaking in terms of E.O. Wilson's consilience, speaking about the idea of going both broadly and deeply into any subject area. At Chadwick International, we have another Harvard professor that we frequently use to direct and to shape our educational approach, and that is Howard Gardner and his recent book, 5 Minds for the Future. And in this book, we have the 5 minds being the disciplined mind, the mind that is experienced in more than one discipline, more than just mathematics or economics or social sciences or biology, but in a number of these disciplines. A synthesizing mind, the development of a mind that is capable of putting bits and items from one area of expertise, from one discipline, together with that of another or second, third, or fourth discipline. And that leads to the third type of mind, the creative mind, the mind that is capable of coming up with new ideas, novel approaches. And I think if you recall the presentation that we saw, the PowerPoint and the video presentation we saw at the beginning of the afternoon's session, we had the students talking about the fact that they had gone overseas to a variety of other schools and universities, and it was that kind of experience that contributed to their creativity, to their appreciation of another perspective, of another way of looking at a problem, and therefore at a variety of possible potential solutions to any kind of situation. With that, we end up with the 4th and the 5th minds that are necessary for what we believe to be successful future students, and that is a responsible mind and an ethical mind. Now, in taking a look at how education is changing, globalization is become almost not so much a thing of the past, but something we almost take for granted, and that's something that we really need to avoid doing. For global leaders, we really believe that at Chadwick International that they need to be disciplined, and these people need to be creative as well. They need to be able to distinguish between collaboration and competition, and so much of our education that I grew up with was the promotion of an individual as opposed to the promotion of a group, whether it be a team, a research team, or any other kind of team. We need a worldview, and the best way that we believe that we can promote a worldview is to increase the potential, to increase the opportunities for students to experience a different culture, a different perspective, and a different philosophy. We believe this so much that although we've only been in existence as a school for 1 year, we are already sending 5 of our students overseas to the United States to allow them to begin the process of an international education. With that, I believe we also need to include the idea that education today needs to undergo a fundamental shift, and that shift is from a student being a receptacle for knowledge to a student being an actively engaged learner, that the student needs with his colleagues, his peers in his class, to be engaged actively, whether it's through project-based learning, through adventure learning, through community service learning, through any of these modes or media, to become the best that that student can become. I would be happy to answer questions later, but I understand we are running a little short on time, so let me pass the microphone over to Stephen.